What defines a good president for you?
Good. No new wars. No new wars.
At least he hasn't started any new wars.
Remember how I got you no new wars? Maybe you libs should recalibrate. And remember the guy that brought you no new wars.
By the way, when I was president, we had no wars. We had no new wars. We didn't start it. Remember when Hillary said, he'll start wars? Look at his personality. No, I said, my personality will keep us out of wars.
Yeah, it's officially game over for the hypocritical MAGA Republicans. They talked nonstop about how Trump wouldn't get us into any more wars. Well, here we are. And now, Iran just dropped a devastating bombshell on Trump. And believe me, this could negatively impact every single American. Now, first and foremost, after Donald Trump's disastrous bombing of Iran, the reactions have been nothing short of catastrophic. For example, J.D. Vance had this rather comforting message.
And the second thing is, Kristen, I certainly empathize with Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East. I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security objectives. So this is not going to be some long, drawn-out thing. We've got in. We've done the job of setting their nuclear program back. We're going to now work to permanently dismantle that nuclear program.
Yeah, Donald Trump is really dumb, though. So now what? Meanwhile, the conservative response has ranged from downright furious to absolute hypocritical. Candace Owens tweets, a full payload of bombs were dropped, followed by now is the time for peace. Utterly deranged. Charlie Kirk, being the classic example of hypocrisy in human form, he tweeted, Iran gave President Trump no choice. For a decade, he's been adamant that Iran will never get a nuclear weapon. President Trump acted with prudence and decisiveness. Then a short time later, he tweets, in times like this, I find a lot of people say stuff they'll end up regretting. Hyper-emotionality should be dismissed. Rejoicing because we dropped a bomb should be met with humility. Okay, well, this first tweet that you made didn't seem very humble. Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to not know what to think. Sometimes she's tweeting, let us join together and pray for the safety of our troops in the Middle East. Then she tweets, every time America is on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. Then she goes to fuming at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for condemning Trump getting us involved in war. But nothing could prepare us for what Iran just did. That's right, Iran dropped a brutal bombshell on Donald Trump, and it could have catastrophic consequences for everyone. This is really important. Take a look. The Middle East just erupted again, and this time Iran has dropped a retaliatory bombshell that could send shockwaves all the way to your wallet. Following President Donald Trump's surprise bombing of 3 nuclear sites inside Iran, the Iranian Parliament has voted to close the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway responsible for nearly 1/5 of all global oil shipments. While the final call rests with Iran's Supreme National Security Council, the threat alone is enough to jolt global markets. Here's why this matters to Americans. The Strait of Hormuz is the oil world's lifeline. It's how massive amounts of crude from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the UAE reach global buyers. If Iran fully blocks it off, oil supply gets choked, and gas prices in the US could skyrocket overnight. This comes just hours after Trump ordered the bombing of nuclear sites in Natanz, Esfahan, and Fordow, a strike involving bunker-busting bombs and dozens of Tomahawk missiles. The administration is calling it a monumental success, though it's still unclear how much damage was done or how far it sets back Iran's nuclear ambitions. But Tehran isn't treating this lightly. Iran's foreign minister accused the US of blowing up diplomacy and warned of everlasting consequences. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is now calling on China to intervene, urging Beijing to pressure Iran not to close the strait since they too rely on it for oil. In short, this isn't just another distant foreign conflict. If the Strait of Hormuz is sealed off, you'll feel it the next time you fill up your tank. And with tensions spiraling, peace feels further away than ever. Well, I guess Gas prices being lowered on day one, that's out the window, huh? Once again, our country is being led by a megalomaniac driven by ego. Donald Trump didn't seek congressional approval, he just went for it. This time, throwing America into another Middle Eastern conflict. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. We have Americans in this freaking country struggling every day to just make ends meet. Meanwhile, we're sending billions of dollars overseas to fight some pathetic war, all because Donald Trump is stupid and fell for the weapons of mass destruction lie again. At the end of the day, Donald Trump is not about America first. Donald Trump is about Trump first. He only cares about himself, and now all of America is suffering. If you voted for Trump, I truly hope you live every day in deep regret.